Welcome to Choosing Us. I'm Brittany.
I'm Jake.
And together we're the LaGrassos. As high school sweethearts, best friends, and ultimate long-distance survivors,
We're talking Dallas, Texas to Japan.
we've learned and developed some tools to keep our relationship full of life and fun.
If you want to learn how to navigate life while creating the relationship of your dreams, you are in the right place.
So whether you're dating, married, navigating long distance like we once did, or somewhere in between,
We hope we can make you laugh, think outside the box, and dream bigger as we walk alongside you wherever you're at.
we'll be hosting you on this journey through honest, unscripted conversations centered on biblical principles.
Together, we will be embracing the challenges
And joys,
of relationships, knowing that though it's not always easy,
choosing us is always worth it.
Hey everyone, we are back in action. Jake
We're here.
and Brittany here.
We're here.
And today we have something really exciting to talk about, really fun to talk about. Brittany, what are we talking about today?
We're choosing fun.
We're talking about choosing fun in our relationships, for our relationships, and with our spouse, significant other. So, in light of this journey that we are on, I think Brittany is a visual learner. Are you a visual learner?
I'm visual and hands-on, like kinesthetic.
I am actually an audible learner.
I can learn audio. Like I've been really into audiobooks and podcasting, but I like to see what's going on.
Yes, but you can read though.
Yes,
I can
I'm a
read as
fast
well.
reader.
That sounded wrong. But I am I know how to read, but I am an incredibly slow reader. And like in college or in like studying things in real life after college, I can struggle through a book and like maybe glean some things. But if I can like get the audiobook or get a lecture or something like that, like audio based, I don't even need a video. If it has video, it's even better. But audio, at minimum, I can just breeze through things so much better.
Anyways, that was a very long way to explain for all the people watching this on YouTube. We will be having props for every video. So please don't do that. We unscripted,
What
guys.
is that called? Xylophone?
Yes, but that's not a xylophone. Please
I know.
put the toy away. So, the first couple episodes, it was Christmas time, so we had our wedding tree up, and it is no longer Christmas. So we have replaced with a picture of us. Look how cute we are. This actually is a shot from our wedding, if you can zoom in, or we'll post it on our Instagram. This is one of the shots that we got on film, like an actual film camera, disposable, that got developed over in Japan. Anyways, but it's a little picture, and we have it on our like dresser, and it says God's best for me is you. And today's prop is representative of fun, and it is a ravioli maker
with a mini rolling pin.
With a tiny little rolling pin. Jake and I love cooking in the kitchen together. It's one of the things that we do for fun.
Yes.
And recently we started making homemade pasta and bread and all the things. So the other night we made raviolis.
We're going to get into that.
And yeah, it's just one way that we keep fun in our relationship, explore new things. And yeah.
Before we move forward, I just need clarity because you started talking about that picture. What's the type of camera that you take it and it prints out immediately?
Polaroid.
Thank you.
It's not a Polaroid.
It's not a Polaroid.
It is printed on a Polaroid.
Yes. And that was just going to like bother me the rest of this episode. I would not have been able to provide good quality content for the people.
Well, I'm glad we got that covered.
Without the Polaroid puzzle piece.
There it is.
Yes. So ultimately this, what's this called? A tablet? The ravioli tablet.
Yeah, it's a ravioli tablet.
The ravioli tablet came about. Brittany got a pasta maker for Christmas.
Yes.
So shout out to Mama Amoido. That was very exciting. And
we made pasta before, but it's like different.
Yes, this is like the one that goes on the KitchenAid, and you could like roll out sheets of dough.
Oh yeah,
it's so much faster than the other one. Although maybe
the other one is for like the spiralized pastas, which is
we may not have been doing it correctly.
But I also think my pasta recipe now is a lot better than it was back then.
Yes. Regardless, this came about. We had a family emergency a few weeks ago. Do you want to get into that at all?
We can.
Again, Roxy, our dog, is epileptic, and so she has seizures. She's a cluster seizurer, and so when she has one seizure, she's going to have multiple. And it's really just like puts us in a challenging spot where we basically need to monitor her all the time, make sure she gets meds immediately, and try to get her out of it.
And she's a larger dog, so she's like 110 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Great Pyrenees. Yep. She's a giant baby, our little baby bear, but for her, it's super dangerous, and so it keeps us kind of out of pocket for a little bit because, you know, we're not really sleeping. We're giving her meds all hours of the night, but we keep fun in our relationship because, that was a very challenging season we walked through. And I think
Yes.
that's part of this episode too.
Yeah. And so the reason I went into that is that we actually did this pasta night like 2 days after her seizures. We basically try to get her 24-hour seizure free, then she can move forward much better. But so this was like very recently after her last seizure, maybe 1 or 2 days, but we still need to like closely monitor her. Anyway, point being, we had every excuse not to have a date.
Yeah.
Right? We got to typically spend more money. That was unexpected when she's having her seizures, getting extra medications and everything. 2, we have the time. 3, we have just like, to monitor her and everything.
And we were just also mentally exhausted. I mean,
Yes.
Emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausted.
Yes.
Those nights, I mean, Jake averaged, I think you averaged 4 hours?
Yeah, my sleeping habits, my work team makes fun of me sometimes because my average for the year is currently under 6 hours. Those nights were typically 3 to 4, and I can operate generally
like 3 to 4 total.
Yeah, 3 to 4. Yeah, it was rough. Anyway, we had a lot going on. We were tired, but fun is a core value of ours. Pursuit is a core value of ours, and so we chose, despite all the excuses, that we're still going to make the most of our night or that night. And so we had scheduled a date night preemptively, and so we couldn't go out. And so what did we decide to do? We
did a night in.
We did a night in, but we got dressed up. We made it intentional. We had fun. I didn't throw flour around, but
I would have been so mad if you did that. So mad.
Cleanup is always the worst part of it.
I was also wearing all black and flowers everywhere, but it was fun.
Yes. And so anyway, we had a blast in the kitchen. We rolled raviolis.
We rolled dough and then we made ravioli. It did take a minute though to figure out like the pasta and all of that.
Yeah, it's part of the learning process. Brittany's also doing sourdough right now.
Yes, and I'm in my sourdough like learning journey. It's been fun. Yes. I'm a big fan of the sourdough life.
But Brittany's not perfect.
No.
And those first few
those first few loaves were terrible.
We're still trying to figure out what to do.
Actually, the second loaf I made, I was trying to add salt and I totally opened the wrong end of the salt. Like, there's like a little shaker and then like the big scoop shaker. Well, I opened up the wrong end and I just started shaking. So instead of
that's where all the salt went.
Oh yeah, that's why I called it the pretzel loaf. So instead of adding 15 grams of salt in one go, I added 49 grams. Yeah. But we made it fun. The dough was undercooked and I just told everyone, I was like, listen, if you close your eyes, just pretend like you're eating a New York pretzel. And that's how we went about that loaf.
Yes. So I have often said that Brittany brought the color to my world, and like black and white before, it makes more sense. I'm trying to think of what food wise how to make that. Basically, I was very bland eater before Brittany.
I was the red pepper. I tell Jake all the time that he married a spicy Asian and I'm just the spiciness that he needs in his life. So basically he was eating like just regular salt pepper and I'm like the red pepper to his life.
So if you know Brittany and you've seen her anywhere, you know that she is the life of the party. And so Brittany, why is fun important in your dream relationship?
For me, fun is imperative just because like life is too short to just like go by just like barely having color. Like I feel like when people had TV back in the day and they had black and white and then like boom, Technicolor was introduced, like how amazing was TV and like the entertainment experience? Like it was cool before, but then it's like whoa, you have all the arrays of color. And so when you've had life where you can squeeze the lemon and you can really make every single opportunity one that is fun. I mean, not everything is going to be fun, but you can find the fun in everything. You can find the positivity in everything.
Yeah.
In a previous episode, we talked about strengths finders, and one of my strengths is positivity.
It is.
So I'm always going to pull out except for in the morning, if you wake me up too early.
No comment.
Unless we're going to like the beach or the mountains or somewhere amazing.
We're going
like
on an
vacation.
Adventure.
Yeah, on an adventure. And we use this with our dog all the time. We ask Roxy if she wants to go on an adventure and she loves it. But I think fun for me is important because it sets the tone and the picture and the foundation of, okay, like we're going to have an adventure together, and our life is an adventure. Our
Yeah.
relationship, our marriage is an adventure. So how are we going to have fun today? How are we going to create an atmosphere where joy can really thrive?
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, I think on my end, we also we've taken every personality test, and so
We're
one of the
so
personality
opposite, but
tests,
so alike.
Brittany is a very fast mover, and I am more of a doer, like execution, get things done, make
Yeah,
progress.
he's the part of my
Brittany's
brain
just
that
like, yes, let's
keeps
go, let's have
wheels on the
fun.
bus.
And Brittany has a lot of other great traits and qualities, and not that's not great. But we differ there, right? And so I have to often taper Brittany back and say, hey, like, let's prioritize things, let's do X, Y, or Z, right? But at the same time, Brittany helps me get
Get you out of your shell.
get me out of my shell, get less serious all the time. And
Although,
I think we balance each other out with
I don't
that.
know though, because I don't, even though I love fun, I'm not really big on humor. And Jake is Mr. Jokester. And
Humor is a gift.
I used to tell him all the time that not everything, what did I used to say?
I literally was thinking this when we started saying this. You would always say, not every time is a time to joke. And I would say, not every time is time to be serious.
There's a balance. There's a balance. I think I just grew up in a way where I just wanted to get things done, do it right. Yes, I like have to have fun, but when it's time to be serious, like it's time to get stuff done.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. I think we probably help balance each other out. Like, I
Yeah.
think when you're getting too serious, I'm like, okay, it's Mr. Fun time.
Yeah.
And when I'm getting too serious, you're like, okay, we need to
Bring the party.
break Jake out of his shell, get him out of the house. And so I think ultimately it helps us see each other in a different light.
Yeah.
Right. We always want to continue pushing each other. We always want to continue seeing each other grow. And one of the books we read, I'm forgetting the quote, but ultimately the premise was you're going to see your spouse in so many different lights. You're going to see them evolve as a person, as a human, and go through all these changes. And so I think one of the most important things to keep in that is fun, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't want to lose the excitement. We don't want to lose the passion. We don't want to lose the pursuit of each other because we're
I mean, we don't, like, at the end of the day, we don't want to lose the joy of life.
Yeah.
You know, like in my Instagram profile, like I sign all of my emails with joy. I mean, I really want everyone to have the joy-filled life of
Brittany,
your wildest dreams.
What is your sourdough starter name?
My sourdough starter's name is Joy. As silly as it is, like I never want the joy of baking to go away. As I knew, like starting that process, like everyone's first loaves are awful, but I also knew that it brought me a lot of joy to really learn something new, to conquer something that I hadn't done before. Like 2 falls ago, I woke up and I wanted to make macarons, having not done that. I've never gone to culinary school. I don't really know all of these things. Some would argue that I'm terrible at cooking because sometimes I leave the stove on. That's why I'm
Hasn't happened in a long time.
Yes, but that's why I'm an over mixer now, because
I think
I've overcorrected.
I think your great like kryptonite for cooking is
distraction.
Not distraction.
Multitasking.
You're really excited to eat.
Yes, I get a little impatient.
Yes.
Anyways, back to my starter's name. So part of that is like I find joy in creating things and baking, and part of that is my Sabbath, and I spend time with the Lord, and I have my quiet time, and I just have that quiet morning hour of prepping my loaves and baking and like doing all the things that make sourdough amazing. And so it brings me joy to bake things. Obviously people love fresh bread. I mean, fresh bread with like just a little bit of olive oil or butter. Yeah, I need to make a loaf. So anyways, so that's like I really truly want to share joy with everybody. And I mean, it's such a big deal that it's a personal core value of mine, but it's a core value of ours.
Yeah.
In our marriage, like we never want to lose the fun. We're forever in our honeymoon. We're never gonna leave the honeymoon phase.
Gonna always be disgusting.
I mean, like people think, well, this is hilarious, but people think that we're so cute, we're so disgusting. Either or.
We say that because like when we got married, and then pretty much since, anytime I kiss Brittany around her sister, she's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, that's what little sisters are for. But anyways, like on my Instagram, of course, my feed is, and this has nothing to do with Instagram. I don't know why this is all coming up, but Jake's face will like throw my engagement all the way through the roof. Like, I don't know what it is about his face, but I mean, anytime
Some things you just can't put into words.
wow. I mean, you're handsome. I mean, I think
Thanks, honey.
you're so cute. Actually, I remember the first time that I showed a picture of you to somebody else. It's like, wow, he's hot. Like, thank you, he's mine. Yeah, that was a
Thanks.
coworker at an old job.
Great.
Anyways,
love to be supported.
we value fun, we value joy in our marriage.
Can I go on here?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I went on a little tangent.
You did go on a few tangents there, all about joy. And so, a movie that we watched a long time ago.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Failure to Launch.
Oh,
Matthew McConaughey. Basically,
love Matthew McConaughey.
Overgrown child living with his parents, and his parents hire this woman to date him to get him to like mature and move out of the house, right? And then they end up falling in love, whatever. But one of the there is a point behind this story. One of the premises, one of the I don't know steps that she takes in all of her clients is she does something fun with them, right? And so my point here is that sometimes fun looks different to us.
Yeah.
So I have a fun activity that Brittany ended up joining in on, and she found it very fun as well. Can you guess which activity it is?
Is it working out?
No, we do enjoy that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We've been going to the gun range.
Oh, yes.
And we love shooting our pew-pews.
Yes.
And so, Brittany was not like oh yeah, let's go to the gun range type of gal. But
no.
She does really enjoy going, and we just have fun together, right?
Yeah.
We try new things, we learn, we have competitions, and we do those things.
I mean, finding your partner's interest, and learning about it, that's probably fun for your boyfriend or girlfriend or your husband or wife to see you evolve in that, because like just like with Jake, I had like really didn't know about much of anything, but it was fun as I learned. Like I wasn't terrible at first, but I've definitely gotten better.
Yeah.
And same thing on the flip side, like something fun for me is like eating food. Like I love food. Part of it is because I'm Asian, and like food is an experience. You eat family style and everyone shares their food.
Oh my goodness. Can we tell the story?
What story?
Your graduation.
Oh yes. Do you want to tell or do you want me to tell it?
I'll tell it, since I was a bit surprised. So Brittany invites me to her graduation, high school graduation.
This is when we're like freshly talking.
Yeah,
we're not even like really dating.
We'd gone to prom.
We're like friends and like holding hands under the table.
We'd be Snapchatting.
Yeah, that was
back in the day. Anyway,
10 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so anyway, we go to her graduation, glad to be invited, hang out with the fam, wonder where we're going for lunch, and we're like going to get Asian food, which my experience up to this point of Asian food
was like Panda Express.
Not Panda Express, but the little Chinese restaurants, like the little Chinese to go, Chinese takeout, or sesame
and literally
chicken.
all you ate was sesame chicken.
I still love sesame chicken, to be honest. I love a lot of other foods.
Time out. At this point in time, Jake only ate pasta and chicken. Jake's Italian. So he ate pasta and chicken and like peanut butter and jelly.
I didn't like jelly, actually.
Actually, okay, so peanut butter and pancakes. Like that was his food groups.
I had eaten burgers, maybe. I grew up super picky, and so that's on me. But regardless, very picky to begin with. Like with American food, then we go to this traditional
true
Chinese.
It was like a Vietnamese Chinese restaurant,
family style, Asian, where they didn't have anything, like they didn't have an English menu.
Yeah, so my mom looks at him and she's like, "It's okay, we'll order you beef and broccoli."
She's like, "We'll get you stuff like sesame chicken."
Anyways,
oh, man.
That was his first experience of food, and it took a long time for us to be able to go halvesies. Like it was like, for real, this was such a big deal. This is such a big deal to me. My mom didn't know if we were gonna make it because I love food. Like if you're watching this, and maybe you can hear the intensity in my voice, but I seriously love food.
The clarification that Brittany would always make to me, because I love food too, and I've been better about loving healthier food than I was in the past. But the clarification that Brittany would always make was that food is an experience.
Like food is an adventure.
And for me, historically, food has always been fuel. And
now you've learned to be an adventure.
I try to have a fueling adventure.
Yes. But all that to say, now we can split, and like today for lunch
we never eat separate meals now.
Yeah, we honestly don't. Like for a long time I was like, please will you just like try a bite of my food, and now we order two things that we both want and we go halfsies.
Yeah, first few times we went out, Brittany like ask for something off my plate, and I'm like, this is my plate.
It's like
why,
Joey.
why
Joey
did
doesn't
you?
share food.
Yeah, why didn't you order what I got if you wanted what I got?
Yeah.
and
now we just share all
yes,
the time.
we literally will pick like, hey, like we'll go in and game plan when we get a
Yeah.
menu. Like, hey, what are we feeling? What do you like? What do you like? And then we will get, we'll settle on 2 dishes, and then we'll both eat half and then switch. And oftentimes we'll like one of us will like one more, and one of us will like the other
and
more.
then it works out perfect.
And and so we just.
But that's something fun that we do. I mean, another thing that we do for fun is work out. I mean, that
we do.
I never thought that I would be like a gym rat, and now we're like, hey, let's go to the gym.
I think that was more me. You doing something that I like that you ended up also liking.
Well,
I was big. Brittany was a dancer. And so, like, you have all the professional years of dance experience and everything, like high stepping and cheerleading and all that stuff. And I was a power lifter, football player, and I just loved working out. And like physically, mentally, emotionally, working out is incredibly beneficial, spiritually too. And so I think we've always enjoyed going to the gym together. And then really after actually Roxy started going down this journey, we realized like we just needed an outlet. And so we ended up going to our gym.
Between church and the gym, those were the 2 places where we could let some frustration out, be filled back up, see some people, be, just encouraged and equipped, and then continue to just walk this journey with Roxy. And I'll touch on this a little bit, and we're not going to get totally into it. But for a season, Roxy was seizing every 2 weeks, and we would take her to the emergency vet. And she would stay there like nights at a time, like multiple nights. And it was hard on us, like in so many different areas, but we found that we together, yes, it was more to survive, but it became fun because we were doing something together and we were growing in that journey. So working out really it became fun because we were just together, going through a hard season.
Yeah.
And I think what's been fun about it now is that health is a priority for us, and we'll do an episode all about health soon enough. But I think it's kind of fun to see how we've evolved, because Jake said, we always have loved to go to the gym. Like when back in high school, I would dance in the flex space in the studio, and Jake would work out, and then we'd go grab food afterwards. And now we're working out together. And at first I actually used to not like Jake training me in college. I tried that once and that was not fun. And now like we've evolved. Like I can allow Jake to lead me through a workout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you just laughing because the last leg day you I couldn't walk?
No, I mean, I enjoy pushing people and challenging people. For me, like I'm big on competition, but strength in StrengthsFinder, competition is one of the actual strengths. It's actually one of my lowest, which is interesting.
That's really interesting.
The interesting part of that is, from what I understand, competition, like strength wise, you like need to win. Me, I don't really. I love to win, but I really want to make people try.
You love the journey. I mean, and I think that's why we've loved that's why we found it fun in our health journey too, is because we look back and we see how much we've grown, and that's fun for us. I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, just thinking about the sourdough, it was awful. Those first 3 loaves, like I look at them or I look at pictures, I'm like, why did I make anybody eat this? I told her it was going to
be a struggle.
Why did anybody eat this? And now I'm making like great loaves that you could serve with steak, and oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. Okay. Like we need to have we're having salmon tonight. Okay, anyway, sorry. I digress.
She loves food.
I really do love food.
Okay, wrapping up, Brittany. What else? How do we want to end this episode on fun?
My challenge for you guys is, wherever you're at in your relationship, find something to enjoy together. So whether that's a new activity or learning an activity that your significant other likes, or taking an interest in their hobby, doing something together will bring a new sense of joy and fun to your relationship that you've never had before.
That's good.
And I think, we had worked at this, that we love health and we like cooking and baking, and sometimes like with the sourdough, it's an arm workout. So sometimes I'll ask muscles over here to help me out, and that's fun. Like it's my sourdough starter, but it's ours because I need his help.
Yeah, I'm like a funkle.
You're the funkle.
I'm a fun uncle for joy.
Yeah, this is getting weird. Anyways, I think the more you kind of lean together
Yeah,
and in, the shared idea of how can we together find fun, then you're going to just see a new facet of your relationship, and
yeah,
it's going to bring joy, and it's going to bring fun, and it's going to just bring this new lightness. Not that
it's
there's
good.
not hard times, because definitely when Roxy was going through it, and
Still hard times.
yeah, there are still hard times, but we find things to connect us. And
Yeah,
so, I think
I think
that's
that.
what I
Yeah,
have.
I think highlighting that end portion, life can be heavy.
Yeah.
Like whatever you're going through, work, finances, business stuff, relationship stuff. There can be so much heaviness, and oftentimes we just get in we just get in a cycle. And so without doing something different, nothing is going to change.
That's good.
And so sometimes we just need to, even if you, like I said, if you're in a conflict with your spouse, or y'all have been having a rough patch or arguments, sometimes you just need to do something fun together. Like
Yeah.
you need to disrupt the
Yeah, I was
pattern,
going to say change the
change, yeah,
environment.
change the environment, change your physiology. But like a lot of times, like you just need to shift something. And a lot of times we can just feel stuck and get so confused or get so stressed, like, well, what do I do, how do I get out of
Yeah.
this? And I can be an overthinker oftentimes. I like to move and I like to be productive, but I am slow enough that I want to evaluate my various options, and I can get stuck in that sometimes. And so one of my podcasts I listen to is one of the episodes was just talking about the importance of, like, when you feel stuck, sometimes you need to make a move.
Yeah.
And once you make a move, then you'll get a different perspective. You may see something different. If you're like on a chessboard and you're like, you're any move that you're going to make, you're going to lose. Sometimes you need to make that move,
Yeah.
and then, count the cost, see what the least risk is, make a move, and then you could, something will shift. You may have an opportunity. You can
And
pivot.
too, I want to touch really quickly on that. Not seeing everything as failure, like see it as a learning opportunity. Like you win or you learn.
Yeah.
And that's something that we were really big on too. And so, like, fun for us, like, we can be in an argument and Jake will say something ridiculous.
This is very, don't, I encourage you to use your discretion, your discernment and wisdom.
Yeah.
It blows up in my face sometimes.
Well, usually not. Usually I laugh and it's enough to break the ice. And so that's what fun is for life.
It's like playing Operation.
Like it's a disruptor, but it can bring just enough spark and joy,
yeah,
that it keeps you going and it keeps your relationship alive. And
yeah.
so our challenge to you is to find something fun. Find something fun in your relationship, and every day, whether that's a joke, something, a meme. Oh my gosh, I send so many reels and things to Jake.
Yeah. Yes, she does. But yeah, I think ultimately find some way to disrupt your pattern and have more fun, create more fun. And that's, something that needs to be said too, is fun is created. It's not just like we walk into it, but like you have to choose to have that curiosity that we talk about. You have to choose to be playful. You got to choose to have that levity. And that levity can open up so many doors in your relationship, and so much joy and so much comfort and so much intimacy.
Yeah.
But you need to be willing to have fun and learn something new, and just try to make your spouse laugh, try to make your spouse happy, try to, and going back to what we said before, that maybe doing something that they love, maybe doing something that, you love, inviting them, and maybe finding something new to do together. We never made pasta before.
Now it's like all I want to do.
It was so good too. Anyway, so that's our challenge to you. Find a way to disrupt your patterns and bring more fun in your relationship.
So if you love this episode, liked it, want to know more, comment below, share. There's plenty of things in our show notes, Instagram. We have a way for you guys to have fun. We talked a couple episodes ago about just communication, and some of those questions can bring the fun to your relationship. But you guys can always leave questions, comments, anything in the comments. Leave a review, share this, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Adios.